I'm Linda Cronin, live on 117 Console Drive, Canonsburg, Rosewood Park. And I'm actually coming up to see what's going to be going on with our road closure signs. And I spoke to John last month, and he said that it's kind of like nothing's happening because Apple Hill hasn't done anything. But the problem has been is that the workers are going up there because there is such a big throughway to go. It's open. There's road closure signs, but it's open. I'm sorry, I have pictures and I left them at home. So the road workers in the morning and in the evening are going up there. And one day on Saturday, when Ola didn't park her car there, I must have had 5 or 6 cars come up my road and then turn around because they think that it's a throughway. So then I went down and stood down at the end of the road, and there was at least 4 cars that came through, and I sat there, stood there for about 10 minutes. So the word's either getting around that nobody's parking down there or whatever, but...
you said workers?
The workers for Apple Hill Construction, they're going out there.
They're coming through there?
That's the way they're going in.
What, with their vehicles?
Yes. And I did talk to the chief, because we had to address the stop sign again. It was time to sit down there and get a couple people ticketed so they'll stop doing it, which was very effective. And I appreciated Chief, and you were right on it when I explained it, because with the schools, there's kids that were going down there just going through the stop signs, you know, the teenagers. So now they're stopping because I don't think their parents appreciated a 3-point ticket on a stop sign. So,
and you ticketed them?
Or warnings, whatever.
Yeah, we cite her, give her warning, but we did address the issue whenever she called.
Yes, so that helps. That's such an ongoing problem that
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Did you ticket any of them or just gave them?
Yeah, there were citations issued, yes. And we did sit up at the top of the hill. We had cars monitor the road closed signs. The officers did have, she did state, sometimes there's a car parked there and cars cannot get through then. But then there are times in the morning when the family's not home, that's when they're sneaking around the barriers.
Could we put a bigger road closed sign or another one? So
Yeah, I think that's what she's going to be asking here soon, about extending the
yeah,
barriers.
if we're going to hold back on Apple Hill, and they don't have any reason to press the issue right now, Muhammad did say that he would be not against a gate. I don't, you know, my husband and I talked about it. You guys are much to put a gate where the road closed sign is, and he's willing to open and close that gate if he has to get into his driveway. So I don't really know what the solution is. I mean,
I don't know if that's up to Bill. I mean, I don't know if we could do a gate, but could we at least put enough road closed signs or something so that we're blocking the
Or,
road?
Bill, do I have any Jersey barriers left?
I believe you do, Elizabeth.
How many?
2 out there, I think.
2? What's
2. The issue with the closure is the ownership of is sawtooth going down the middle of the road. So as you approach the end of the road on the left-hand side is a road closed sign, and on the other side, as you approach Canonsburg further in towards Mahomes property, there's a road closed sign. So what they're doing is jotting in between those barriers. But there's an offset to the property line. And if we were to put a barrier between that spot right there, it would limit Muhammad's ability on the radius in and out of his driveway. It would limit his ingress and egress from to his driveway. So we've tried not to do that. We set the barrier back far enough on the Canonsburg line to allow access to his driveway. I'm not sure if we can put a gate up there. The problem with the gate is emergency vehicles, of course.
chains is probably the same thing, because that one side of the property is his property totally. So he's willing to have any. I don't know, you know. Really, it's just a shame because they're coming through, they're speeding, they're cursing, they're fingering, you know.
You're right, you know, it is his property though. It is on the Canonsburg side, but it is his property. And that might be something we have to look into if you do put a gate up or something. But I don't know if you lock it or whatever, or say people can't go through the gate or whatever. If they go through, then you have a right to ticket them if they're doing it.
I don't know, I mean,
Right, I mean, that
maybe
would
we
be what
just.
you
Road closed signs are what we'd be enforcing, so it wouldn't be the fact that a gate would make any difference. If anything, it'd be trespass by the vehicle. And again, we're going to continue to be up there, but it's a guessing game when it's happening. We believe it's happening in the morning, evening, rush hour, like she was saying that it possibly is the workers, but we will be continuing to monitor that as much as we can, as well as the stop sign below.
Well, why don't you go there and talk to Dawn or talk to Sean and see what our other options are? I mean, maybe you can come up with something that will.
Where are we at though with, I know she was asking, I don't even know where we're at with the litigation part.
John?
Sorry, John.
Scandal.
Over here now. We've obviously been in discussions. I think, we're talking about these temporary solutions. I was kind of muttering to myself, we need a permanent solution here. And even Linda wants one. I mean, I know you don't want to deal with this. Gateway has proposed a permanent solution. We've met with their counsel here at Cecil. Dawn has been in discussion with Canonsburg over this issue. So our offer is on the table to them. There's really nothing we can do right now other than to continue to reach out to them to make them want to deal with our proposed solution. They've not countered that solution. I've told you, Linda, they haven't gotten back. So
nothing's happened in the last several months, right?
Right, the ball's in their court, although we pushed them a little bit. I drove through the plan the other day, and it's a pretty good ride from the beginning to the end to your section, so I can imagine they're not looking to give up that exit anytime soon. And Dawn, I know that, I don't know if Canonsburg's taken you've told them it's not even their road, so I don't know if they just backed off since then or not. They have not, so.
Joel, I didn't understand. You said that it's a long section to come through that plan of Apple Hill.
Wow.
Who's they? It's the workers you don't really have to care about, and Miranda doesn't live there. The owners of Miranda, they don't live there. The borough council people don't live there.
I'm with you. I mean, I think, Linda's less concerned. The workers are going to be gone. This is going to be the permanent ingress and egress is what she's concerned about. I mean, obviously the workers are a temporary inconvenience. But, we've suggested proposed solutions. We've talked in executive session, I think, about different legal strategies. And, we support, I know the board supports closing that road to traffic coming through. It's just a matter of how we get there. Right now, we've closed it to the extent it's working, and I know to some extent it isn't. It's how much further can we go and deny Mr. Muhammad access to his driveway. That's really the impediment to closing it. As Bill said, we could kind of, make a little Z in there probably, or something like that.
Well, I know, Dan, you've gone and worked with us and put a proposal on there for a cul-de-sac and ending the road there.
Yes.
I mean, can we push them more to get a response from them? Because we still haven't got a response on that cul-de-sac and doing it.
Well, when I was up there, Linda probably knows better than I, but they're getting pretty close to building that out up there. At some point, they're going to want that.
There's 6 houses right now, and I bet you they'll be in a couple months.
Yeah, and they're pretty close to that.
And then I believe, according to what I see, there's 30 houses, and they probably have a good 15 houses that are going to be built that are sold.
Well, what I like, Linda, is that the road's closed now, so any potential buyer isn't going to raise some sort of issue. They thought that was a thoroughfare there. That last lot there, Tom, at some point they're going to have to come to us, and we're going to have to work that out. So, like I said, we've sort of staked our ground. We blocked the access, maybe not as good as probably as good as we can right now. Maybe we can put more signs up, but it's almost like going to be their issue. They're either going to get to that last lot and we're going to end up in court, or they're going to respond to our Dan's suggestion. Dan didn't just make this up. I mean, he met with them on site and went over the feasibility of it, so it wasn't like they were not involved. But it's hard to make them come to the table. They know what's there.
We were at that meeting whenever we
I think you were out there, and
Dan.
Dan, someone from our office.
So I really don't know if there's a solution on trying to stop people from going through there because of Muhammad's, the thing is, he don't generally use it that often. probably, people say never, but that doesn't mean that he still doesn't have the right to have access if he chooses to. So I don't care if he uses it or not, he needs to have access to it if he wants it. So they do try to park their cars there, but when they're not there, is from what I understand, is going to. And I didn't know what was going on because it was so cold. And that one day when I was like, where are all these cars coming from? And then I went and stood down at the road closure sign and 2 cars were coming down and they turned around. So I guess they said, whoops. So, but that's the only thing, I don't know the solution. My husband and we tried to figure out something just to stop them from being able to come through. That is private property that they're going over. On Mohammed's though, technically, like you said, that's his property that they're driving over. And that's,
Is he
put no trespassing signs up or what, you know, so.
He enforces that, that's.
Is he okay with that for a while, with the status quo?
It appears that, yeah, and I didn't have a chance to talk to him. I tried to call him and then I forgot to call him today. I don't know what the heck I was doing. I think my senior moments there. But, and so, yeah, it's just, I think the complaints are that the traffic coming up and down Rose Drive from a couple of the residents there, that there's just more traffic again coming down. And so, I mean, I don't see it really, except all of a sudden I see all these strange cars in front of my house and they're turning around, and then I know what they're doing. They're thinking they can go straight through, that they don't have, you know, because we don't have a no outlet sign at that corner, Kinsella and Rose. We never needed it. We have it down at the bottom of the hill. They did put a no outlet sign up, way up on Lucia, you know, that generally governs the fact that, and we don't know if that was new or not because it's something we never noticed. But that doesn't mean anything because people just say, oh, I think it's really quicker for me to go. The only thing I think that's impeding people is Burnside Road is so bad that until we get that paved, and when's that going to happen, it's just
Can we
bad.
put some more signs down there, Bill?
That's what, yeah.
Okay, to try to alleviate this, try to make people.
Yeah, we're just talking about putting a no outlet sign up there. That thing is signed in accordance with the required PennDOT publication manual. It's a type 3 barricade with the 3-panel hash mark across it. Unless there's a physical barricade put there, people are going to continue to go through there. There's no easy solution. I could put another half dozen signs up there. As long as that hole remains open, they'll go through there.
Right.
So
That is an issue all over the United States, even on, one man was so upset because they had a road closed, they closed the road in because people were flooding and people were going around the road closure and they had to rescue them. So, you know, and then he was quite mad. So the mentality of people that don't want to obey the law or just want to have a quicker way to get somewhere is what we're doing. But I just wanted to present it. I don't know if there can be any solution right now until we see what's
I mean, I can reach back out to the lawyer, see if he's going to respond. I mean, obviously,
I mean, I guess, John, what's our next step if they don't respond?
Well,
Think well.
we need a permanent solution. At some point, their hands will probably be before ours because they need to develop that lot or do something with that lot. That's what I assume. They're waiting till they get to that end piece to see where we go with this. But, you know, again, Mr. Mohammed's part of that road is his private road. He's given us the ability to block that. Even without his permission, we wouldn't be blocking it right there.
Well, I appreciate your attention and everybody come up with
Try
a
to go up there
solution.
and check it out and look again. I'd like to go with you. Let's go see what we can, what other options we have.
Yeah.
All right?
But the permanent solution's coming, whether we are successful or not.
Yeah, and if we can get the chief up there and give some tickets going through, I'd stop with you.
We're going to go up this week and see what we can do, if there's anything else we can come up with, okay?
Thank you so much. And I do appreciate also the chief responding so quickly to our ongoing perpetual everlasting problem of the stop signs at the bottom of the hill. And I know, we all know that it's not when the police come, we know that it's not going to solve that problem, but at least if we get some people tickets to at least stop
Word
it.
spread real fast.
Yeah. Like my father was a policeman and he used to say, well, I didn't give a ticket for a rolling stop sign if they looked. But if they didn't stop, they got a ticket. I'm not saying that our police do that. I'm just saying it's a
John, I have a question.